All right. Mike's hot. Coffee's hot. Coffee cup of the day. Tennessee. I'm doxing myself there a little bit. That's all right. I'm not always in Tennessee. A stick and move. Catch me if you can. All right. Good evening, friends. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Command and Control Center here at Jonathan 1970. I am Jonathan still. And where are we? We are in the thick of the Hall series. Sorry for the delay between videos. I've been struggling with the technophonics of the channel, teaching myself a whole new language here, learning how to adjust things and troubleshoot things. But I think we're up and running. I think we sound good. Looks like the interior of a spaceship in here, doesn't it? All right, very good. Yeah, so we are in the thick of the Hall series. I was thinking I was going to make 3 more videos, but I think I'm going to condense it down into 2 videos and let them run a little bit longer. On the suggestion of somebody in the comments that maybe I get on to some more interesting content. And that's a good suggestion. I think, showing off the bottles is nice and the halls and everything. But yeah, I want to get into maybe individual reviews or going over favorites, going over, some of the obscure stuff I have in the collection, and yeah, start to create some different kind of content. Okay, coffee cup of the day is out of the way. A little more housekeeping. Scent of the day. Scent of the day is something that I pulled off the back shelf. A friend of mine sold this to me, and then subsequently mentioned that he kind of regrets selling it. And I thought, really? I was like, you like it that much? And now this is a house that I'm very fond of. Actually, have a few things from this house coming up. Um, and when I got this, I thought it was nice, but I kind of dismissed it. This is 1881 by Nino Cerruti, and it is nice. It's kind of a spicy little ambery barbershop kind of fragrance. But I guess I just hold Nino Cerruti kind of up on a high shelf. Um, some of the Nino Cerruti Pour On from '79's got to be one of my favorite fragrances of all time. Another one Ramsey's been talking about recently is this one, and I agree with him, it's unbelievable. It's really a good fragrance. It's a great 1-2 punch from a house. This came out in 84, 85. Um, between Nino Cerruti Pour On and this one. Such a great 1-2 punch from a house for their first 2 offerings, masculine at least. I know there's feminine releases, but the 1881 I wasn't. I guess I just was a little bit of a drop off. Um, and there's another fragrance here that I was a little bit underwhelmed by from the house, but we'll get to that in a minute. What am I sampling? I am sampling. I'm not going to show this because it's too small. This is from a house that I've been getting into recently, and every time I sample something from this house or get something from this house, I haven't been let down yet. And this is Heris by Hermes. And I'm noticing that iris is a note that's been creeping up on me. Galbanum's been uh, the big fascination of late, and maybe Immortelle. But iris is starting to creep up on me, and this one is very nice. This is from a vintage bottle, if I'm not mistaken, from the blue bottle. I don't know what the modern's like. If I had to guess, Hermes takes care of their reforms because I have newer versions of Eau de Hermes and the Eau de Cologne, and they're very good. I'm sure the older ones have a little more depth, or they're maybe some better materials, but Hermes really does do their best. I'm also sampling this one from the House of Rogue. which I'm a big fan of. And this one is Tabac Vert. However, I have to be honest that I like Tabac and I like Vert, but this one was a little underwhelming too. I don't know what I was expecting, but maybe I need to sit with it more. I've only just tried it today for the first time, and yeah, I'll report back. I'll report back on that. All right, enough blabbering. Let's just jump right in. Let's get this out of the way. Where to start? Where to start? Okay. I mentioned a house a while back called Bogner, and in discovering, on the recommendation rather of someone in the community, Remington Brito, uh, Deep Forest is a phenomenal fragrance. So I started to go down the rabbit hole of the house, and second release from the house that I've got, and second time I've been impressed. This is Bogner Man, and this is really nice. Really nice green, foresty, um, herbal. It's got a touch of sweetness in it. It's kind of it's a little, maybe a little more. I don't want to say wearable, but maybe a little sexier than Deep Forest. Deep Forest is a great fragrance, but it's not. It's more of a serious fragrance. This one, it seems a little more playful, but the quality of ingredients, the herbs and spices, this is a win. I got to check out some of the other releases from the house. Bogner does good things, man. So far, I'm really impressed. What else? Okay, let's go. Let's stay with the Nino Cerruti Porom theme. I got this on a recommendation from Rafi, and Rafi has a channel, Rafi Diran Basclef. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. And he suggested this one. Now, to be fair, he did mention that this is um, more of a nostalgia thing for him. So I kind of went into it, kind of almost expecting what I was going to get. Um, Great bottle, by the way. I'm a big fan of bottles, and it's a lost art nowadays. But this is kind of a cool bottle. It's got this weird. Anyway, this is exactly what I thought it would be. This had to have been something he wore when he was younger, and I can see this being, appealing for that reason. It's I don't want to say it's like Pierce, but it's kind of in that range of just a really good ambroxan, musky, sexy thing that you discover in your late teens, early 20s, and it kind of just sticks with you. Not a bad fragrance, but going back to what I was saying about Nino Cerruti, I just hold the house in such high esteem that once I got to some of these later releases, like I think this is a 90s release. I could be wrong, late 90s. And this is, I want to say early 2000s, but I don't know what, maybe they just were going in the direction of mass appeal and got away from, more artistic creations like Fair Play and Nino Cerruti Porum. Speaking of which, now I showed this off a while back. I have a partial of Nino Cerruti Porum, and then I ended up getting a backup, not a cheap backup, but a good backup, quality. I showed this off before. The bottle and the box are amazing, thanks to Keith, Manly Sense. And I'm not sure if I got this from him or if I got this from a Nuge from Enchante, but I went after the aftershave, just to kind of cut cost and get a little bit more of that DNA. And I'm not going to take it out. You've seen the bottles before, but this is a win. Um, sure, it's a little bit lighter, but it has all of the same quality of ingredients and blending, and I would wear that on its own without a doubt. It's phenomenal. And I also got this, which some vintage shea products don't hold up the best, and for obvious reasons. This is 40 years old, but I got this in, and it's not only together but smells phenomenal. It hasn't faded a bit. This is the aftershave moisturizing lotion, and I was a little skeptical because I've gotten other aftershave lotions or balms that kind of separate and coagulate, where the excuse me, the alcohol dissipates and it leaves this like clumpiness, just from age, it happens. But this one is phenomenal. So take a shower, put this on after a shave, and the aftershave, and then the EDT, and you just create like a whole, just a whole vibe around you for the entire day. It's fantastic. Little ways to kind of, get more of that DNA that you like without putting out, you know, monster money. Uh, okay. I've shown this off before, but it's worth showing again. And it was just happened to be in this collection of hauls that I've gotten over the past year, and this is Metropolis by Estee Lauder. The seller we got this from really took care of these releases, these boxes, and bottles for that matter. Great bottle too. Oh man, I'm just slacking over here. Um, yeah, and I love these Estee Lauder bottles. I love the older bottles uh, from the houses that like really gave a lot of attention to the design because it's like this Art Deco kind of a building. There's no name on it, which is great. I mean, it does have Lauder on the cap, but there's nowhere on this bottle that says what the fragrance is. It's just like you kind of identify it from those ridges, like Estee Lauder for Men. Like there's nowhere on this bottle does it say Estee Lauder for Men. I mean, it says Lauder up top, but you just know it. You just identify the brand with this, with the ridges. It's a lost art, and I wish more houses would put more time and effort into their packaging. I think it makes a difference, and it's a part of the whole artistic experience. There are still some houses and some indie and niche houses that put effort into their bottles, but it's not like it used to be. I don't think there's the days of Pierre Denand are behind us. I'm afraid. Okay, so let's see. Okay, this was suggested to me by someone in the comment section in one of my early videos, and I apologize, but I don't remember who. And once you see this, comment again. Let me know who you are so we can talk about this because this was a great recommendation. This is called Elsha, 1776. And it says on the box, the aristocrat of perfume and cologne. And this is a little bit older of a release with the short ingredients list, but it has a barcode, so it can't be that old. And look at the packaging. Just talking about packaging, how they put that little sticker on the inside. Um, this is an interesting house or brand. Um, from the research that I found, this company out of Los Angeles has been around for a really long time, and this is basically their Russian leather. And I've only been able to collect bits and pieces and little scraps of information about this. Um, and it's, from what I can gather, it's been around at least since the 70s. And I read an article that says that the house took over a license from a foreign perfume maker and then kind of folded it into their brand and made it that American style Russian leather. And that's what this is. Now, granted, this is an eau de cologne, so you're not getting an all day wear out of it. But what you do get is fantastic. This is, a rough and tumble Russian leather. Um, cinnamon, clovey, you know, it has a little bit of a bite to it, a little bit of a leather kind of animalic growl to it. Um, and somebody wrote in bass notes, and it hit me as soon as they said it. Yeah, and maybe it's the power suggestion, I don't know, but this has a bit of a root beer vibe to it. And as soon as they said it, I was like, yes, I get it. So, um, this is apparently still being made. Now, this one is a little bit older. Um, I don't know how the modern holds up, and I've heard the older ones are even more bold and more birchy and have a little bit more wear time to them. But this one is a freaking win. So thank you to the person that suggested this, and call it out in the comment section. I'd love to discuss it with you. It's, man, such a great recommendation. I love finding like just unheard of, obscure stuff like this that, flies under the radar, or maybe it was popular in another part of the world, or maybe another part of the country, or, another time period, that I just wasn't aware of. So that's a win. I guess let's stay in the theme of like unheard of. I ran across this on Etsy or eBay, and I was like, what is this? And you know me, I'm looking for the most obscure, the most unheard of. And a couple of things attracted me to this. This was made, uh, this was released in 1978. And just recently, I started to realize that I have quite a few gems, real gems from 1978. I'm starting to think that that's probably my favorite year in fragrance. It's got uh, quite a few of my uh, quite a few of my favorite fragrances in that year, and this is called Mark Cross Eau de Cologne. Now, there's an Eau de Toilette out there. I don't know uh, what that's about. I would just take it. It's Eau de Toilette concentration. Um, it's got a short ingredient list, and I don't know how long it ran, but it doesn't have a barcode on it, and so I don't know. Yeah, I would take it as from 78, 79, 80. It's such a great bottle too. Speaking of bottles, and the cap is like real heavy, and you can hear the caps. Can hear the caps got this like great like sound to it. And this is not far away from a Russian leather, but it's not a Russian leather. It's I just looked up the notes earlier, and now I'm drawing a blank. But vetiver leather. Uh, it's got, it's a dark woody fragrance it's got this booziness to it that's really sexy, and it's actually not not a million miles away from another release from 1978. And I showed this off a while ago, another unheard of house out of New York called John Veit's, and this is John Veit's cologne. Same kind of thing, not a lot known about it, short ingredient list. Like, this has um, vetiver, I think sandalwood, and like a couple of other ingredients. Very woody, very, professional. This is the kind of like in a men's club in the 70s. You got to be wearing a suit. You got to come heavy with this kind of stuff. And that's kind of where Mark Cross is. Um, and the few reviews that I can find on it, the one review, the guy said he thought that this was the greatest fragrance ever made for men. I was like, wow, I got to check that out. And I've had it for a few months now, and it's pretty freaking good. Greatest fragrance of all time? that's I'm gonna need some more time to chew on that question, but it's really good, and I'm glad I picked it up. And it's a little pricey. I don't know about going after the Eau de Toilette, which was even more expensive, but yeah, this is a great find. Mark Cross Eau de Cologne. Anybody knows anything about this or has heard of it? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to learn more about it. It's good stuff. Okay. Okay, from a house that I'm very fond of. This is from the house of Histoire de Parfums. Um, Histoire de Parfums, I think Gerard Ghislaine started the house in 2000. I think this is a 2001 release. One of the first releases from the house, and this is Eau de Cologne Traditionnel Naturel. And I don't know if you can see that little blue tag there has the name of Histoire de Parfums on it. And I saw this and I've never seen it on Fragrantica. I never saw it on Parfumo. I saw it and I was like, is it possible there's another house called Histoire de Parfums? Like I'd never heard of this, and I thought that looks really interesting. It comes with the atomizer, and comes like quite nicely wrapped actually in this like mache kind of paper with like the little designs on it. Try not to make too much noise with it. I'll box this up later. The bottle is fantastic. Really nice bottle. This is a 250 mil, I believe. Yes, 250 mil. Nice. This is a really nice pickup. Um, this is a traditional eau de cologne. There's, it's not reinventing the wheel, but it does have like this kind of this herbal, this really unique herbal top to it, and it's a little more weighty than an eau de cologne. It's got a little density to it, but man, really nice, and I'm glad I picked that up. Another winner from the house of Histoire de Parfums. Let's see if I can show that. If you can read that, or maybe you want to stop it, check it out. Interesting stuff. I'm really happy I picked that up. Okay, what do we got next? All right, we'll do this. Let me just get these little ones out of the way. This is a recommendation from Duncan, the famous YouTuber, and this is Anthracite from the house of Giacomo. It's kind of a cool bottle. It's actually red. It looks black, but it's red when you look through it. This is this spicy aromatic, but it's got some fruit mixed in there. And it's a little bit old school, but it's a little bit 90s, if you know what I mean. Like they were going after a younger audience, but it's still quality. It's still Giacomo. It's a little under the radar. It's kind of nice. I like it. All right. Okay, we'll do this one. Now, this is a very interesting house. This is a house called Beal. Beal Parfum Kuns-Work. Parfum Kuns-Work. Beal. And this guy's name is Thorsten Beal, I believe. And what he did was, now, this is the box, kind of plain and simple. So's the bottle. The bottle's kind of plain and simple, and he put out fragrances from, I want to say 2006 to about 2013, and basically the concept of the house was a minimalist packaging, minimalist bottling, and what he did was he handpicked some perfumers to use high grade materials and create carte blanche. And this is called AL2, ALO2, which is on the top of the box. Sorry, ALO2, and that each of these lines, which have 2 or 3 fragrances in them, are signed by the perfumer, AL being Arturetto Landi, and that's who created this one. Now the bottles are nice, they're quality, they're hefty, but they're kind of, they're kind of simple, like minimalist. Like the cap is nothing to write home about, just a simple metal cap. Great sprayer though. The sprayers are awesome. This is a spicy amber fragrance, and uh, I was the first one I smelled was EO1 or EO2, by a perfumer named Egon. I can't think of his last name off the top of my head, but and he picked a few different perfumers. I think Giza Schoen is one of them. Mark Buxton was another one. So you have GS01, GS02. Then you have Mark Buxton. You have MB01. And then you have Arturetto Landi. Excuse me. And this is an amber, a spicy amber, but it's got great. It's got great. It's a plum and peach up top with citruses, and then there's um, I want to say cinnamon, cardamom, and carnation with like a rose jasmine combo, and then in the base there's an amber structure, labdanum and vanilla, musk, patchouli, vetiver. I think incense as well. This is a really good fragrance, and the few others that I've tried from this house have been fantastic. Nothing mainstream, nothing you could draw comparisons to. It's kind of just each perfumer just doing whatever with their ingredients, and so far I've discovered that that house has some good fragrances in it. If you ever get a chance, Beal Parfum Kuns-Work. I think they're out of Hamburg, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, another house along with Bogner that I've been impressed by and trying to go after some of the releases is Eterna. I have two from the house that are like stunning fragrances. The silver, which is a complete rock star that nobody's ever heard of, and this one that I wore this yesterday actually, and this is Super Fragrance by Etienne Aigné. And Super Fragrance it's just that. It's a super fragrance, and it's kind of in the concept, or in the idea of a blend 30, where I mentioned that blend 30 was kind of the grandfather of a lot of things to come, and I think that's what super fragrance is. There's you can sense a lot of different DNA in it, um, of the time and stuff to come. And another fragrance created in 1978. Um, so back to what I was getting ready to show you. Etienne Aigné put out this one called Number Two. Now there's a number one, obviously, and I think there's a number three. Um, Good, not great. It's got a really nice kind of herbal spiciness. It's got a little bit of a animalic musk kind of a growl in the base, but it's pleasant. It's kind of middle of the road. I like it. I like it. It's quality and the blending's good, but it's not knocking my hair back. You know what I mean? I've heard others from the house I need to look at. I just took a flyer on this one because it was cheap, and I was like, I've been thoroughly blown away by the other stuff from the house, so why not? Okay, we're almost getting there. We're down to the last couple. Um, I got these two. I want to say for my birthday, maybe Christmas. Um, this is a house that it's a love or hate house. I've heard people say they love it, and I've heard people say they don't. But I like this house, and I was talking earlier about Immortel, and this one is Immortel Course. Course? Yeah, course. I don't know if it's pronounced course, if it's corset or. Well, anyway, Parfum Dump here. This is a good fragrance. Immortelle, along with Galbanum and now Iris recently, is a note that I really enjoy, and this one is a good fragrance. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that. Um, and another one that I didn't think I would like. To be honest with you, the first time I tried it, I was like, I'm not gonna like this. I ended up liking it very much because for me, I don't know if anybody else gets this sense. And look at this juice. It's like, this is musk tonkin. And this has a real like throwback vibe to it. Um, I really like it. I've heard people kind of slag off on the house, but these two, and there's one other that I really like from this house. Um, and in the cold weather, these are both really good wares. That and Motel, of course, especially. Okay, all right, we're down to the last three. So, okay, this comes recommended. I saw this video quite a while back from a guy named Thomas. He has a channel called Early Greek. And when Thomas says something, I pay attention. But this is a little bit outside my purview. This is a little bit outside of, not that I'm opposed to any particular genre. I've got everything and anything here. Um, I like oud, and I like fragrances that just smell good. I don't have to. It doesn't have to be an artistic endeavor every time. But some of these Middle Eastern houses that are emerging in the market, I kind of dismiss some of them as like the Armafs and the fragrance houses like that, where you think it's either a clone brand or they're just putting out these cheapies. But this one came highly recommended, and I gotta say, I'm not disappointed. This is Blue Oud from Ibrahim Al Qureshi. And I've heard good things about this house, not just from Thomas, but from other sources. And didn't know what I was expecting, but this this is a win. Um, this is an Udi. This is what Sauvage or something like that, or um, Arrows or one of those others. This is not like them, but this is what they wish they could be. I won't compare it to Bleu de Chanel. I think Bleu de Chanel is on its own because it's a Chanel. Its quality is much better. But this isn't like an oudi kind of a club fragrance. I don't know how else to call it. It just smells good. It's an oudi blue fragrance, but the quality and the blending. This is like the difference between a club in the States and a club at the top of a high rise in Dubai. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting off of this. This Blue Oud is strikingly good. Great recommendation from Thomas. And as with some of these houses, like Ajmal, I'm learning they are putting out good stuff. And I don't think it's only a matter of time before they start putting out stuff that can't be denied. Their packaging is always top notch. I've got a few Ajmal where their packaging is phenomenal. The quality of their ingredients, the blending. I don't know. I don't know a lot about this house, but if there's other stuff from this house that's doing this, and see, like I said, I don't. It doesn't have to be an artistic endeavor for me necessarily to enjoy it. Sometimes the fragrance that just smells good is good, you know. So there it is, Blue Oud. Not my usual go after, but I am glad that got my hands on that. And then two winners to end the video off with, and then I'll stop chewing your ear off. This is something I've wanted for some time. Um, this is from Frederick Mall, and this is Noir Peace. And Noir Peace is done by Michael Rudnitska. Some good heritage there. Um, this is a 2014 bottle. To the best of my understanding, the house went through reform in 2015. So this is pre-reform, which I could not be happier about. This is I don't it's nowhere near a 1-to-1, but I get kind of inklings of Bois de Portugal with this. Um, this is phenomenal. Noir piece. A lot of you know about this, so I'm not going to say anything else. It's just a freaking good fragrance, and I could not be happier to have it in the collection. That's another great cold weather wear. Okay, and last but certainly not least, from a perfumer that kind of is where I started my journey with Polo Green, Carlos Benaim, and this is Dawn. And holy cow, I have the night and I have the moon, and I've tried Promise. Kind of hold the night a notch above the moon, but I like them both very much. And it's not a big notch above, it's just a little notch. But since I've gotten this and I've been testing and wearing this, I'm close to saying this is my favorite of the four. And of the three that I have, this is a very freaking good fragrance. I want to say that it's maybe the night and dawn together with the moon coming directly under it. And then for me, Promise is okay. Promise is good. And I wouldn't mind having it. I like Promise. I just don't know that it's on the level of the other three. And it has nothing to do with the cost thing or whatever. It's a little cheaper than the other ones. I just, I feel like I've smelled Promise before, like in a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, that's it. The Dawn. I could not be happier to have this in the collection. So that is it for now, my friends. I will make one more big haul video, and then I'll get on to some other kind of content, some content that of things I like. Show off some of the maybe take deep dives on some of the more obscure stuff that I have, and maybe make a favorites, like a top something, of my favorites all time kind of videos. Um, uh, yeah, so if there's, like I always say, if there's anything you can teach me about any of this stuff, any directions to point me in considering this stuff, I'm always looking to learn. I'm always looking to find out good stuff. I really look forward to the interaction in the comments, and I appreciate all the love and and kind words. Y'all have a great night. Stay grateful. Peace.